Hello and welcome to Ask the Right Questions. I am I am Slim Jim, and over there is Rayce the Revelator, and it's going to be a very emotional stream. Why is Rayce suddenly asking himself the right questions?
Yes. Where do I even begin?
Well, just say what you did a couple minutes ago.
I have no hope for what I'm doing with my artwork, with this stream. I have no hope for the world. I don't know where the world's going. I don't think it's going anywhere good. And I feel like I have a tornado of ideas and things I want to do in my mind, but I can't execute them. I feel lost and confused and frustrated. I'm 28. I'm still living at home. I want to get the hell out, but that's going to be a long time. I can't find a way to monetize my artwork. I don't exactly want to stream, but I think it's something good to do. But, you're fighting against algorithms, oversaturation, a huge market. Not confident in what I'm putting out being entertaining. Like, why would somebody want to watch that? It's like you want to feel good about what you're putting out. When you don't feel good about what you're putting out, you want to stop doing it. And I think that's what's happened to me the last few weeks. Like, I was streaming for a while, but I'm not getting that reward feedback. No one's bought a print. No one's few people have like shown up. I had some people come to talk, and it seems like from
Well,
what I hear most artists saying, they only make money. They only get attention from fan art. So your original stuff that you want to put out, it doesn't get much attention. I don't know about the whole gallery scene. I've never been to art school. I've done some classes in school, but they don't teach about business. They just teach you how to be a better artist. And it seems like it's just like every time you ask people, like, how do you make money off your art? Not even some of the artists know. They'll be a teacher or something, and they'll make a steady paycheck in some way and then do their own thing. So it seems like artists only thrive in really good economic times, and the economic times now suck. Even
well,
with tax cuts, we're still not cutting the debt, and there's just so many societal problems. Like the world's losing it. Like the political environment is unstable, and the economy is unstable, and so you're like, yeah, I could go out try to make money, like using my talents and all that, but then is it even going to be rewarded? Is the economy going to crash one day? Yes, it is. So there's just so many things. There's problems psychologically with me that I've had for a while. There's like personality deficiencies I think I have of laziness, perfectionism, feeling overwhelmed. But then there's just the world is not helping it. The world is, you know what I mean?
of course I do.
Okay.
Of course I know what you mean.
that's that's
I'm in the
my
same boat.
and I don't know if this is interesting to people. Like, why would people want to listen to my whining, right? Is there too much whining out in the world? Like, are people expressing their frustration too much? I think this is a millennial thing where we constantly like joke about
How terrible everything is.
how terrible everything is, but we also joke about how like insecure we are, and we always want pity, and we always want people to feel bad for us. I'm
Well,
like,
well, this
I'm
is the
starting to lose that. I'm starting to lose like wanting. uh, It doesn't do me any good to like constantly want people to feel pity for me. It doesn't do good to constantly virtue signal my insecurity and like, oh, I'm just like you. I'm suffering just like you. I'm starting to hate that now. But I also don't have confidence. I feel like that's fake confidence. If I'm not being honest about my situation, I'm just putting out fake confidence, and that feels like I'm lying. So it's
um
a paradox.
Well. This is pretty much what a boomer expects when they open up Twitch, probably. The only difference is Call of Duty or Fortnite's not running in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess if you wanted that a millennial thing, well, it's
Well,
not easy.
the boomers didn't leave us a very good world.
Well,
That's for
it's
sure.
something that the boomers' days are done because the left and the right both hate them. Doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
conservative or a liberal, you don't like boomers, which is kind of funny. But as far as your work, let's we'll tell what you enjoy doing. You're telling me earlier that the things you enjoy the most. Although you just started writing poetry again, you haven't been doing that regularly recently, have
Yeah.
you?
I wanted to write blogs and articles, and it wasn't coming as naturally to me as I thought it would. But so I started listening to my old music again, and I started listening to like Dylan and Garrett and some of their verses again. And it's like, oh wow, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed rhyming. I really enjoyed putting a verse together. And so then I just started like I've had all these feelings and like deep philosophical thoughts, and they're kind of just like feelings hanging in the air, and I feel like I can get them down better in poetry. Even though to some extent I'd still rather put them like in a nice article with like complete sentences and thoughts and all that. I'm just a more cerebral, emotional person, I guess. So I think taking some of my old poems and then writing new ones and putting them to a book and selling that came as an idea of like, okay, well, that's a first product to have, and a lot of the work's already done. So you can get that done. And so I started writing new poems for it. Um,
Well, you do have a history in writing hip hop songs, so which is of course very similar.
mhm. And
Um,
then doing they're doing artwork for the poems too, and that would be part of the book.
I mean, the poems you wrote read fine to me. I don't read a lot of poetry, so I couldn't comment
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
much. But I did enjoy your songs. I like the lyrics in your songs. So
Yeah.
same thing, I guess, right?
Hmm.
So you enjoy that, and you enjoy original paintings. You said the stories don't you don't enjoy them or they don't come naturally to you,
Right,
whichever way
right,
it
right.
was.
Yeah, but I still want to do like a libertarian anarchist comic. I think I could make some really good ones. I have a character I made up for that, and I think I can do that too. Um,
Well, more of a daily gag comic.
so yeah, yeah, like short little um ramblings of a character, you know, that talks about like the libertarian anarchist ideology and all. So,
You were also saying that you
um,
have trouble organizing.
I don't, well, I have like I would love to do music again. I would love to do animation at some point in my life. Uh, I really like films. I'd like to talk about those or like I don't know, write blogs about films and comics and
Well, you definitely
I
do
like
enjoy being a
photography.
critic. You definitely do enjoy being a critic. That's
I
why you
like
were calling
that.
me the shallow artist.
Yeah, part of starting this show and what makes it great was to do that, was to talk about art. I really enjoy those conversations. Uh and so I mean that's just a lot of stuff to juggle, and I'm easily distracted. I'm way too lazy for my own good, admittedly. I hate to admit that. Um and so I feel I don't have the personality to juggle all these interests and things that I want to do. And if they're not making any money, if they're not leading towards me being my own person and being self-sufficient in the world, then it's hard to get the motivation to do them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think you need some kind of feedback, some kind of reward. And like we've even been doing this show for a few months now, and it's always 0 views on YouTube, and we don't know how to get it noticed. I mean, I'm not,
Marketing
and
is our biggest problem.
yeah, and I'm not super into just like like commenting on random people's things, like even to say, like Gary Vee talks about your 189 cents or whatever, where you just make a comment. You don't advertise your stuff, but you just make a nice comment to somebody, and then they might check you out. They might follow you, or whatever.
Which
And that,
I have started that to some degree, though I always feel like, what am I doing?
yeah, it just doesn't feel. It feels manipulative in a way, but they also, but you want people to do that to you.
I
You want,
know what you do. I know. It's weird. It is weird like that.
yeah,
It is weird like that. It's kind of hypocritical.
yeah. You want positive feedback, but you don't want to give positive feedback. That's just,
I don't know if it's really I don't want to because I do like it. I do enjoy the product, whatever it is.
hmm
I just I just don't feel the desire to comment, I guess. That's just how introverted I am. I
yeah,
That's just
exactly,
how introverted I am. It's not something I consciously think about.
right,
It's just my
right.
behavior. But I did join. I did join a writing group. I am participating somewhat on world building subreddit and World Anvil to try and get something going. Um, well, for social media.
You know what a lot of people do too is if they have some success, they instantly. I'm noticing that creators now instantly release an ebook or a course telling you how to get noticed online,
Yeah.
and I don't want to pay for those. Like there's
Well,
so many of them.
you can. I mean, the way to get most of it is kind of obvious. You have to interact with other people. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
There, I mean, if you're a YouTuber, you can try and look into the algorithm. You can try and talk about the daily news. Is how a lot of people get known. Whatever the hell's trending, you just sit down in front of your web camera in a flurry and start yelling into it for your 10-minute video. 10 minutes 30 seconds or 20 seconds actually, I think it is. 10 minutes
Oh
20
God.
seconds. Got to really stretch it out.
Yeah.
You get those double ads, and and you're following the trend. That sucks too. I mean, that's not. I don't want to talk about the how creepy Biden is from Russians now, or right wingers dare to read books, whatever the daily trending topic is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wish everyone was just libertarian,
You need to know
but
people to be known. There we
mhm.
go. You need to know people to be known.
I feel like the sane people who know how the market works and how know how well it could work and just know what makes the world work, like work well, what makes human flourishing happen, is the vast, vast minority of people now. And so we're going to suffer from the majority of ignorant people, no fault of our own. And that's not a lot. That's not very hopeful, right? Like, because you want to believe that you're doing all this work now, and the whole idea of the American dream is that you're rewarded for it. And no other time in human history were people rewarded for their work that much. You were either a slave or a king. And
Well, it's
it's
because
just
a lot of middle class is going, I guess, is what it is. Is what you mean by that.
the middle class has weights constantly put on them, and we're all like everyone's just struggling. And you don't know what could have happened if there wasn't so much turmoil on everybody's psyche. Um, and I think a lot of talk about politics is just it's just videos about people freaking out. Like, look how crazy the left is getting, and look what the right is saying here, and everyone's just mad at each other. It's not like it's. I wish I didn't have to deal with social media. Like, I wish I didn't have to deal with all that
Well, it's kind of
stuff.
like walking on ice. I mean, there's a lot of people now who just, I've seen many people, I mean, just regular people, small time creators also say that Twitter, you should just use it to say, hey, I posted a new video and leave it at
Yeah,
that. Don't comment on anything. It's purely business.
I think it was like I said a few weeks ago. It's like social media is like always being stuck in a room with people and everyone's shouting, and you can't leave the room. Like, if you want to make money online, you can't leave that room, and everyone's shouting things you don't like. you
It, it
know,
well it's yelling into the abyss.
No, but we're all in this room. But it's more like we're all in this room together. I mean, if yeah, I mean, you'll get drowned out. I think is more like it. Like, you get easily drowned out. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you could, like, back then, like, if you got successful enough, you could buy a big house in the middle of the woods and create your album and write your book. You didn't have to
That's
listen
my
to
dream.
people,
That's
and
my
and you
dream.
you go out and do interviews, and people tell you about your work that you're hey, that book you worked on for 5 years. This is what I liked about it. And
Well,
you're like, oh
that's kind
wow,
of
this is why I do this.
that's kind of what Bill Watterson is, except he doesn't even he extremely rarely does an interview. He doesn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
Well, he was the most introverted, successful modern artist, I guess. Modern artist
Yeah.
who was a successful modern artist. He's the most introverted I've heard of. It's kind of a different time though. He only had to deal with his newspaper publisher. He didn't really talk to anybody else.
And I think people with smaller egos, like, they don't want a huge audience just like constantly draining from them. Like this is another hypocritical contradiction, right? You want an audience because you want to make a living. You want them to give you money. But constantly having to entertain them and give them attention, that's not something I want to do. That's a little bit of a that can be that I could see that turning into a huge drain on me. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm trying. I mean, they're not gonna be knocking at your door. You can hop on and offline as you want, or
Yeah.
onto those social media. I don't worry about that too. I mean, I'm trying to think about. I don't know how much the people I follow really interact with their audience. Not a ton, I don't think. Trying to think about like Sticks. I don't know. I mean, he interacts. He likes a few comments. He doesn't really directly talk to a lot of his audience, at least anymore
Okay.
that I know of.
Okay. It feels like in the beginning you kind of have to, though.
They do,
You
but the
should
thing the
give
thing is,
everybody
your
attention.
audience is small, so you can answer almost. You probably could answer most people in the comments because it's small enough.
If your audience stays small enough, you can't make a living.
Well, yeah, I guess it takes time to build. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if what I'm doing will work out at all. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I hope so. I don't know it, but I can't know unless I release it.
It just seems like it's a new world now that's not meant for everybody. It might not be meant for like some of the best artists, and we may never get their work because they're just like stuck not knowing how to play that social media getting
How
attention
many?
game. And then everyone's going for your attention. It's like a piranha. It's like throwing meat into a piranha cage. Like,
You see it if you go browse fine art, you'll see all kinds of people who aren't making much money, if any, on their art, and they're amazing artists. Beautiful,
yeah.
absolutely beautiful work. Um, we only have so much space on our walls, I guess,
Yeah.
to hang pictures.
And then there's the
There was this thing that I think if Fine Art America invented themselves. It was a frame, and you could set it to cycle through pictures, and it would pay the artist based on the amount of time that it was on display. You've seen that?
yeah, yeah, Fine Art America has that.
Yeah, that's a cool, awesome idea, but I don't. How many did they sell? I don't even know.
Um all the big money is going into postmodern art, which is terrible. Um
Forks and hills and
People are,
dots.
yeah, I mean, people are, there's a lot, there's like virtue signaling art, and all these artists have to do is make something with a social justice message, and they make millions. Um, and again, like from what I can tell, uh, everyone hates libertarians, and
Oh, really?
libertarians are this tiny minority.
Everybody,
And
everybody hates everybody, right? Of Karl Marx.
yeah, but even conservatives aren't going to be libertarians' friends in the future. We're going to be the annoying people nagging at them when they have their power and they have all their programs all their government programs that they like, and all their constitutional things they're happy with. We're going to be annoying them. And how many of them have moved into Trump? How many are moving back because Trump isn't doing that well? Um,
I think you're
so
worried a bit too much over that.
I'm in that minority of a minority too. So my audience is like 10 times smaller than everybody else.
Um, I think you're worried too much about that one.
Maybe.
So
Probably.
what exactly are you worried about? You're worried about well, are you worried about them hating you for your ANCAT comic?
No, that's just a smaller group of people that would be willing to give to you or support you or listen to
I
you.
mean, you don't necessarily have. Well, I mean, if you're doing ANCAT, you are advertising your political views. I'm not planning on doing that at all.
Well, they're going to listen to the show, though, and know what your political views are. You've already done that, right?
A little bit, yeah. I guess if they dig this up. Although you and me are focusing on art more now because we both enjoy talking about that, and our knowledge is a lot greater
Yeah, but
on that.
I guess I'm just taking that moral stance of I'm not going to let the mob, like, silence me.
I don't exactly have a huge desire to broadcast my political views anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
But no, it's understandable.
I mean,
It's just
it definitely happens to people. I mean, it happens to people randomly too, just because some weirdo said that they can't write some story because they're the wrong race. You know, I
yeah.
mean, shit like that happens. But if you don't broadcast it, but like they also say, like a lot of people say now, don't bother using your Twitch for anything but your business. I guess you could look at it as kind of contradictory to you should be so you should interact to get yourself known.
Hmm.
You could do that in a very PC way until you reach that until you get over that hump, and then just use it for business. You could look at it that way. That's practical, I guess. Be very PC. Just say that's a really cool painting, brah. You know, you just you stay really safe.
Well, but yeah, but isn't that just like giving into the mob and they're letting them silence you? Like you can't put out a dissenting view, and
Well,
it's going to be it might be at some point. I don't think it is anymore. I think get woke grow broke is pretty true, but like they're putting out a lot of companies are putting out a social justice message, and there's huge backlash against it, and they're losing some money. So they're taking a stand on what they believe in, even though it might not be super popular. So I mean,
in the case of my art, it's not political.
oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, for you, you're doing ANCAT. You are broadcasting. That's what you're doing. you are broadcasting your politics, which is fine if that's what you're doing. In my case, I don't have the desire to do that. If you examine it enough, you probably could get hints of where I'm at because I draw
Yeah,
I draw custom culture art as big, manly, macho monsters and big, cool, hot rods. I mean, I'd say it's probably right wing people who enjoy that. But my fantasy story is kind of apolitical,
yeah, yeah.
though it has the whole eco green. I mean, it's very based on nature. If you read enough of it in the long term, it's kind of centered around nature and organic and natural shit for the most part. But I mean, that's true about anything. If you really want to examine somebody's piece of work,
Hmm.
like there was this thing recently, a discussion about they were examining authors to see where their religious stances might be, and if you examine enough, you can tell by certain phrases they use or thematically where if
Right.
they're Christian or whatever or Mormon.
Right.
But I don't know. It's up to you. Cat's political, overtly political. That's what he is.
Anarcho-capitalist cat
Yeah.
and cat. Yeah. Um, which I think people should stand up for what they believe in, no matter what. Um,
I agree with that too. People should be able to create whatever they want to create.
yeah.
And people they should stand up for that right to do it.
We can be like, yeah, but you might not make as much money off your art. It's like, yeah, but it's not good for art if I don't stand up for. It's not good for my art or art in general if I don't stand up for what I believe in, and it's not going to be good um, for money if people can only make money off one view that everyone's like okay with. Like
Well,
the leftists throwing a temper tantrum at me, making me lose money. That's not a world I want to live in. So
no.
I got to fight against it.
I am. I'm just saying, like, I'm not. I'm not going to be overtly political, but I'm going to write or create whatever I want.
Right, and I'm just saying that's the thing I constantly hear from people too. You might want to separate them. You might want to
Thing is,
separate.
yeah, yeah. Thing is, the wor- everything has been politically charged now. Everything, even the race of your protagonist is. My protagonist is
There's,
a fat white female witch. It's like I don't know. I guess I'm not. Some would say I couldn't write that because I'm not a girl, so I can't do that. But I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, that's how it turned out. I actually, when I first started writing the strategies in male pronouns, I realized this character is a girl. Just the way it went. This character.
which is why. So don't. Yeah. So I don't think we can. I think shutting ourselves down just to make the temper tantrum not as bad. That's not gonna like you probably make the temper tantrum worse.
No, the
Um.
best thing I kind of see sometimes is just if somebody starts yelling at you, you just say nothing. Just ignore them,
Yeah.
and they go away.
Or troll them.
You can do
That's
that
also fun.
if that's
That's
part of your
also
skill
fun.
set. You can.
Yeah. It's a crazy world.
We
It's a
are
crazy it's a crazy world right now. It's uncharted,
strange.
it's completely uncharted territory, and
It
we're
is.
just
It is
baby
very.
adult boys.
That's the other side of it. So, I don't know. Can I say it when you called me way earlier than you usually do for the show?
Yeah.
He called me up, and the first thing he doesn't say hello. He just says, "The world's going crazy, and so am I." Didn't even say hello. Just started shouting.
Cuz it's just you just gotta like it's a hurricane in my brain, and then I go online. It's a hurricane online. Everyone's just like, it's a clown world.
It's
It
clown
really is.
world.
It's a really is a clown world. It's like the
Was it my
headlines.
fault? Was it my fault from yesterday, Race?
What?
Did I trigger you when I said you were sad and confused yesterday?
No, no, no. it's partly true.
I wasn't saying it to
I
insult
can't
you.
deny it.
I didn't
I,
say it
I
to
know.
insult you
I
because
know.
you
I can't.
yourself have described yourself as those two things.
I can't deny it. I think the world's sad and confused too. That's the parallel.
We're getting there. We're there. We're going to
There's
be
just
going
like
into the black abyss, dark
this
abyss.
is the headlines. It's just a constant facepalm. It's just like everyone's. It just constantly surprises you. It constantly shocks you. It's like, where is this? This is going nowhere good. And then you're dealing with your own stuff, and it's like a hopeless mental strain constantly. And it's hard to not follow the news because
It is hard not to, even though I have backed off it a lot, but it still sucks me in. It still
yeah,
does. It still does suck me in.
because it's like watching a train wreck. It's like watching a circus, and
It's hard to ignore too. It's just like it's because everything's politicized. We've been trained to see it in stuff
it
that's
does
not
affect our
there.
future. It
It
does
does.
affect our future careers. It does affect our future ability to make money, whether we like it or not. Like there's literally nothing we can do. We're basically like playing a game in hard mode, and we can't turn it on to easy. It's like we have to deal with hard mode, you know,
It's
or
true.
glitchy mode. There's just like glitches going on in
What's
reality
that
right
called?
now.
Super Mario Chaos or something? It's Mario 64 Chaos Edition.
How
It's
does that
Have you
work?
seen it? Oh,
No.
it's a ROM of Mario 6 it's ROM of Mario 64 and there's this thing and it's like an add-on, I guess you want to call it. They made it so random code is injected into the game as you play it, so just random crap will happen. You might just fall through the stage. Um, uh, the boss might be different. You might not be able to beat the boss. You might just have to exit out. You know what I mean? Just it's completely random. The sky will change. Everything.
Sounds like 2019.
It does. It does. So let me ask you the question, right? I ask you the
Uh,
right question.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Are you going to do your paintings and poems? Your paintings based on your poems. They go together.
Yeah, I think so.
That's thinking about. Because you
And
agreed,
I
you just have
think
to do something, anything.
and I think I might have to free myself from a stream schedule. I think I might just have to stream when I get creative inspiration. It's not, and I don't have an audience wanting a schedule yet. So,
I don't.
but
A lot of people say to have the schedule for your stream, but I don't really think a lot of streamers do have an exact schedule. Just like this guy streams in the evening at some point, you know what I mean? Like that.
well, one thing I heard them say is that you want people to know when to come back. Like you want people to know when you're streaming,
It's
and that
important. It's more important for YouTube than it is for Twitch, I think.
hmm.
That's just my observation. I don't watch streams much, but I just happen to see them when they post on YouTube or something that they're going to stream.
I think I would stream more if I didn't worry about a schedule.
Because I know Thick Rich just says for a while he just said he streamed on Fridays. He didn't even say a time. He just said he streams on Fridays.
Yeah. Well, there's guys who they take the time to like make videos. I have no desire to do that. The reason we do this show live is because we don't exactly like I wouldn't want to sit and edit myself talking.
I know
You know.
I don't want to edit myself reviewing a movie. That's not my thing. If I was going to do editing, I would want it to be yeah, a fictional, a movie,
Yeah.
a fictional
Yeah.
movie. I would want to edit
Exactly.
that. That's enjoyable to do.
Right. Right.
Not that I've done it much in my life. I mainly just did it for that senior project.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Lunch Bunch documentary. Poor Chris. What are you doing here? Um,
He was living in my dumpster. He was.
we thought about doing like comedy videos too. Again, that's just like yeah, we could do it, but
The biggest thing, the
it's
biggest
just
issue
adding
with
on to the
that
pile.
is I'm not sure because why that. The biggest issue for us was getting other people to do it because you need a cast.
Yeah, you need people who are
You
naturally
can't you
funny.
can't just depend on yourself. I think that's a huge issue for a lot of people who want to make make live action movies. You have to get together a cast of people to be
Hmm.
in your movie. Like you could say, well, you can always get creative, and yeah, I have actually thought about doing myself. I've had ideas pop into my head randomly. I never pursued them of doing like myself solo with that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's a
I
lot.
mean, with if you have a phone in a car, you can go to some really nice places and you could like film really nice landscapes. You know, it's just finding the people who would put in the time to act and do multiple
It is.
takes.
It is. That's the problem. You
Yeah,
need other people who are passionate. Really, if you want to be a filmmaker, film school probably is a good place to find those people.
yeah. I think well,
It,
yeah. I think actors. The more I think about it, actors might be the most important thing to a film because most of the attention is on them and most of the
there's a lot that goes into even an indie film.
hmm. Oh yeah.
So film school is really a boon for those people, even though you say college pointless, but for them it's like where else are they going to find each other? They're going to
Well,
find each other
the
to make
thing
a
about
movie.
the thing about college is just the overinflated price. Uh, what we should really have is apprenticeships and networking events where people get together and
Of
collaborate.
course.
If we
I was
had
just
those two things, that would take care of the best things about college. You wouldn't be sitting in a class paying, getting in debt for life to sit in classrooms. It's just a ridiculous system. It's going to fall apart. I love to learn. If I could, I would be in school my whole life, but that whole system's just ready to fall apart. I haven't had faith in it since the beginning. So, uh,
it just randomly popped in my head like for a filmmaker to find other people who are passionate enough and will commit to film a movie. I don't know where else you would do that.
no,
Film school is the place for that one.
yeah, yeah.
Unless you fly out to Hollywood and just pray, start networking. But for us, you have to find your path like I found mine, Race.
Hmm.
I couldn't um, trying to draw a comic was too the perfectionist in me just always overtook. Couldn't do it. So I started
I think,
writing. So I started writing
I,
a book.
yeah,
Well, I'm talking for the audience.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I
No,
did.
yeah, you there's one point you want to do stop motion.
And then VR, then VR animation came out, which is you you paint with 3D blobs of paint, which are technically CG,
Yeah,
and then you move those blobs as if it's stop motion. So you don't have to worry about gravity. I don't have to try and get tiny saws and a giant set in my room. It's extremely convenient. I love it. It has the best of both of traditional animation, CG. It has the best of all three, traditional, CG, and stop motion.
hmm,
It's the best of them all.
and it's completely
It just
completely new.
yeah, it only launched well, there was Quill for a while, then the Zuck pulled the plug. Now it's kind of back. There's a few staff members on it, but then Anim VR came out, which is from other developers. It's still very slow updates. It needs a lot of quality of life improvements, but it's there, and you've seen I have made some animations.
Yeah,
You have actual digital cameras. You can have actual digital cameras, set them up in the scene and tell it when to film on the exact frames you want them each one to film, and plan the whole thing out right in there. It is amazing.
it is.
It is amazing.
But but again, there's such a disconnect between all the innovation and technology and the just unstable economy and
I know.
politics. It's so
I
like
know.
it's like we we have future age opportunities and abilities with stone age thinking.
I don't know.
And so it's like there's all this hope to create all this art and be able to thrive with it. And then there's like zero hope in, you know, maintaining yourself in the physical world, trading and getting money from people
The
and providing
absolute,
value to people.
the absolute most difficult thing is just letting the world even know that you exist. Like we just sat here for 40 minutes. Who's shown up?
Yeah.
Of course, Twitch's tags suck for this too. Twitch's tags
All
are
these,
they're all also based around gaming, about the majority of them.
well, I think we're fighting against algorithms which can be
Well,
unpredictable
let
and
me ask
don't.
this question: why is the number one streaming site only based around gaming? Really? I mean, think about I mean, I realize there is a cooking tag on Twitch. The just chatty section, I guess, does have people, but it's not that many either compared to games.
Mhm.
I mean, do I just say we're playing Fortnite?
I'll say if we ever do a video game thing, just put Fortnite in the title and see what happens. Um, well, I know I think more of the future will be audio because people like to listen to podcasts while they do other things. Uh, with a stream, you're having to watch a video, and there is a lot of dead time in a stream. Um, break times or whatever, people just talking to a chat. Um, Sometimes it's not always entertaining or interesting. It's very spotty. So I think people more watch streams to like have a chance to interact with somebody or the creator or talk to other people in the chat. Uh, I guess if you thought of it like a radio broadcast where you're calling in, but these those things are recorded. Like I'm still have my stuff recorded on YouTube, so it's just like the perfectionist in me. It's like you want every minute of that to be worth somebody's time, and you don't know if that this probably not possible.
A lot of well, I did happen to see Tipster the other night on live stream. I happened to see it on my YouTube feed that he said he was starting to stream right now. And yeah, I had finished what I was doing for the day. I was just getting ready to go to bed, so I turned it on. And I do realize because he does edit them for each news piece he does for YouTube. But in between there was downtime. Really, he was grabbing a drink. He was saying hello. He was talking to the audience a bit or whatever. It wasn't constant nonstop entertainment, and I think that's a part of it is that it's casual.
Okay, so there's some value in that. You're not like here we're trying to like host a show and give it some structure.
Thing is, a lot. If you think about you and me, well, I guess I'm speaking more for myself. I mean, when do you watch live streams? Tournaments, that's it. I mean, there is no downtime at tournaments. It's all planned
Um,
out,
I do,
really.
yeah, I do watch
It's
tournaments,
all
Smash.
planned out.
Yeah. I've watched Tommy Sotomayor. He's done call-in shows.
Oh,
People
well,
can just call in.
you have watched Scott
Um,
Adams stream live.
I don't watch him. I always watch it after the fact because he always does it in
But
the
it's still
morning.
there, but he doesn't edit it. It's just sitting there. It's raw.
Yeah, it's just him sitting. Yeah, yeah, I do watch.
Stefan's very raw, though a lot of his stuff is planned, I will say that. What he
Hmm.
what he's going to talk about is planned, and he has notes.
Yeah, I've watched some of his. I watched a little bit of his streams. Tommy Sotomayor would constantly change channels, so you'd always because he'd always get demonetized or whatever.
Yeah.
So he would always make a new one, and I don't know which one is going live.
Well,
And if I knew which one was, maybe I'd watch them more or tune in more. But there was a lot of downtime in his streams.
and it wasn't necessarily
Uh,
boring for you.
no, but it's like then you're kind of like at the end of it, you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah, I know. I know it's
I
so.
mean,
A lot of people, some people put it on the background. A lot of people do that. But there,
okay,
there is people who sit there and they just keep commenting even if the person doesn't answer them. And like who are they commenting to? I don't know. They're just saying their opinion for whatever reason they felt like it. I don't understand that. I was like you and me don't understand the desire to do that,
no,
but people do it.
No, I understand like watching like I've never watched liking somebody play a game.
I have, well, I have watched speedrunners to some degree.
Hmm.
It's kind of like if I was sitting there painting, I would have it on. If I sat there painting, I do it. I do watch, like I watched the big 100% Ocarina of Time speed run when they set a new world record sometimes. Once a year I do it to see the updated record. Or the 180 Sonic Adventure 2 Emblem run, which is like 18 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
But I turn it on the background, and while I'm painting, it's there. I'm not constantly watching it, but
Okay.
it's there. It's something I do. Sometimes that's if I don't have music on to help inspire me. But I don't know. It's people have all kinds of reasons to do it. But it's again, I don't interact. I'm the silent guy watching it.
Hmm.
But speed runs, the game is always there and the game is being run. It's not about it's not about the guy. It's about the game. It's about the guy's skill. He's playing the game. He's not interacting with you much.
Well, I did buy a HD capture thing to play Smash Brothers and that indie game Tumbleseed. I think that's like a super entertaining game. So I'm not speedrunning it. It's not as entertaining though when you speedrun it. It's more entertaining when you're like taking risks in the game. So if I can play
Uh,
it like
the
that,
vast majority of streamers are not speedrunners, so
okay, okay,
speedrunning is just what I'm into.
yeah. Um,
But you did bring up something. Another one of our fears. All of
mhm.
us all of us depend on third parties to host our shit. And you're always at the risk of them going down, changing the rules, getting demonetized, banning you, you know? That's why I have a website, and I'm going to try and promote that website as
I
home
promote. Yeah, I
base.
just promote my website too.
As home base, I think that's something that's lost. Like a lot of people brag about how I don't even need a website nowadays. Like
Kind of.
technically you don't, I guess, but I don't like depending on a third party that much. But then you get into you're going to upload it to all these different places.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm going to try to promote my website set up as an encyclopedia, which I think offers something different than so many other websites can.
Well, it's like, did you hear? You heard that MySpace went down, right?
It finally went down?
Well, it's been dead for a while, but the servers they just had to shut them down.
Oh,
So
really? Oh.
everything that all that time and
Well, it's
energy,
back up, I guess, because I'm on it. I just looked it up.
no, like they lost like tons of music before a certain year.
Oh, really?
Like they lost
Wow.
tons of like files before a certain
What
year.
happened? Did it change? It's part of the People Entertainment Weekly now. I remember the guy who owned Fox owned it for a while, I thought.
Hmm.
So it changed hands again. Wow, this is nothing like it was. Holy crap. It's not even a social media site anymore. It's news on music and movies, basically.
But yeah, you were, but like people put tons of time and energy into MySpace back then. Now that's all gone, pretty much. You
There
know,
was people making a living on making layouts and stuff. I always did find that weird that Facebook took over, but it didn't have nearly as many features.
well, anyways, this is a chaotic world in every way. But
This was a chaotic stream.
that's okay. That fits. That fits with the concept. That fits with my venting. Um, maybe one day we can listen back to this and laugh.
Well, I guess I
Maybe
could
maybe
say
one day we'll be successful and we'll have an audience and they'll be like, "Wow, you guys were really struggling back then.
Well, I just feel like talking a bit about this, so I'm going to finish off with this. But
Okay.
I spent a decade thrashing around in the dark. Really, about a decade, I guess. Well, almost 7 years.
Hmm.
I was always starting projects, dropping them because of the perfectionist. I don't know what did that. I just finally got sick of it. I guess kind of like you just came up tonight and was like, just started getting angry that nothing was getting done. But I was always too much a perfectionist. I tried to make comics. I can't draw nearly well enough to make myself happy with it.
Mm,
I can't. I physically cannot let myself let go and just release it as it is because it feels like it's too much of a mess to me if
right.
I can't get what is exactly in my head out because I could picture it exactly what I want.
Right.
So then I started writing because I have always read books my entire life. But, the story is getting out now. And I do have a website, higherfalls.com. But
RayceRaposa.com.
yeah, well, it's proof I have something out. It's proof that it is going out.
Yeah.
Now it is getting done, and I still paint. I did some animation. There is some animated sequences of the story done. I'm going to finish up the story, then go back and add them in as different updates. But stuff is getting done. I still can paint. I went into world building because it's multimedia. I still can paint. I still can animate. I can do whatever I want to, really,
Hmm.
in world building for the mediums. But I guess writing is how I get my stories out because I can allow myself to let go. I guess you could say my taste in writing might suck because I'm able to do that. Is that a thing? I kind of started worrying about that a couple weeks ago. Do you think that's a
About
thing, Rayce? Well, the fact that I can let go in writing so much, is it because my taste is shit in the written word? I don't know.
um. Well, you think your taste is shit, I guess. I
No, I don't
mean,
know. It's like, but is that why I'm not such a perfectionist about it? I don't know.
because you're not focused on detail, so you're moving forward more, I guess.
I guess maybe something like that. Um, I do read the classics, so I guess I can appreciate what is considered the top tier writing. But I also I really do enjoy those the classic pulp magazines, literary magazines. Writing was more casual. I mean, they were the people writing were on tighter time constraints. They also were on tighter word counts. So
Hmm.
there was compromises made, but they were fun. They're fun to read. They're fun
Yeah.
short stories. So I don't know if that makes me trash because pulp is actually a negative word to say about a story
Mm.
nowadays. But I don't know. But I am getting my story out. I am creating, and that is the most important thing in the end.
Yes. Yeah. I just have a perfectionist instinct. I wanna put out quality work all the time. And I psychologically, subconsciously, I just don't think I can accept the fact that I'm going to put out crap sometimes. And I mean,
That is how
and
I guess it's just how I overcame it. You have to find your way to overcome it, whatever your
because
medium
sometimes,
is.
because sometimes even like we've done this show, like, and we're done with it, and like,
That's how.
eh,
Yeah, I feel that way
you know,
half the time.
yeah, and like, and it's like you feel like, well, you didn't put out something good into the world. Then you didn't put out something that was like worth people's time. You were fumbling over your words, and there was dead air, and you're forgetting something, and then that like sticks in my head, and it doesn't leave, and it doesn't make me like enthusiastic to do the next show, or like
I
sometimes
guess
I even forget to prepare for these sometimes, and then I'm like stumbling. It's like, why did you do that? But
we
I don't.
didn't prepare. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sometimes I don't prepare enough for it. I also accept it's live. It's live, and that's how it is.
Well, like Colin Moriarty, his podcasts are really good, and he will edit them for hours to cut out stuff that's unnecessary. And he says he does that for quality control because he wants the podcast to all be really good quality products. He doesn't want to waste people's time. And
It is
I feel like I really agree with that, but I don't think I can, it doesn't feel worth it to me to listen back to this and cut out dead air. Like,
most
it doesn't feel,
most
go ahead.
most podcasts I've listened to are well quality controlled. There is a few, but they actually like say it. They actually say it in the podcast description that it's just it is rambly, it's uncut. But that's
The
yeah,
cop, yeah.
but that's usually those like there's an author I listen to who does it. Like they are really long, but they are rambly, and he says that they are. But it's also not his main thing, I guess. It's not his main. It's just something he does because he feels like it.
Coach Red Pill would sometimes he would be like, "Oh, this video came out like crap. I didn't say everything that I wanted to say. I kind of went off in another direction, but he edited the video and he put it out anyways."
Exactly. You do what happens happens. There's always next time. There's next
Ah,
time.
man, I don't know
It's
how to
hard to let
turn that
go.
off.
It is. It's hard to let go. It is hard to let go.
How do
Well,
you turn that off, Rayce? 'Cause that's the right
is
question.
that next week's question?
How do you turn off perfection? Well, we've already talked about
We
perfection.
did talk about perfectionism, how it hinders us, but we haven't talked about how to defeat perfectionism.
Maybe one day we'll have archaeologists listening to this date by date. Be like at this point in their careers. That's
Well,
not going to happen.
well, hopefully I end up having a career.
Hmm. Well,
Why did my room just turn red? Then it went back to yellow. Whatever.
yeah, your thing does that a lot, actually.
Oh, see, it's the distance. When I move in,
Ah, okay.
it turns red. When I'm back, it lightens up. I don't know. Sometimes the lighting is just right on me too. Look at it. I move higher, the lighting gets better on me.
Hmm.
I haven't solved that problem. Your room was just naturally made for it. It has a nice atmosphere and lighting.
Well, this is what happens when I turn off the
Yeah,
light in front of me.
one single
That's a
light
slight.
changed him.
Yeah, that's a slight bouncing back on me. Um,
So I guess we can about wrap it up.
I mean, I hope this was worth your time, world,
What are
listening to me whine about my life
Rayce is
problems.
going to attempt to write poetry and then make his paintings based off it, thematically. Thematic painting series.
Good enough direction to go in.
Something like that is what you're gonna do.
Something like that. Good enough direction, I guess.
Well, there is artists who do series of paintings in a theme.
It's just hard, it's just hard enough to be an artist. Artists are crazy people.
Oh, you could
Where
you could steal my idea of remixing dead franchises,
there's
dead
where
public domain franchises.
artists are remixing, they're taking things from the world, they're putting them together in new things. They're taking the chaos of the world and they're trying to express it in different kind of mediums. And they're crazy people. There's so much going on in their heads and they need to try to organize it and make it into something, and that takes time and money and energy, and you need to figure out a way how to constantly replenish that. Sometimes it's not with the thing that you're creating, and then we're just living and then there's the chaos in our minds, and we're trying to figure that out, and then there's just chaos in the world. There's a chaos in politics, there's a chaos in social media, how to get noticed. Everyone's yelling at each other, everyone's yelling, look at my art, buy my art. You're just one in a sea of artists that are trying to do something and get attention and get money, and it's all just chaos, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta live in the chaos. RayceProposes.com.
It's hard to be
HigherFalls.com.
it's hard to be confident during the end times.
It's an end times of something.
Well,
It's an end times of something.
something's gonna end.
Something's gonna end. Something big in society is gonna end. But I
So
don't know.
we do this on
Whatever.
Thursdays at around
Sometimes.
at around 8 p.m. EST. We're on twitch.tv/ask the right questions. We're on YouTube, Ask the Right Questions. And we're just two men rambling into the abyss.
Two adult baby millennials trying to be self-sufficient and failing at it with this show, but
Anything's better than being a boomer, am I right?
anything, well,
Anything better than being a boomer. I
it's
don't
better than
know.
we're doing better than nothing. How's that?
We're doing better than nothing. I'm
We're
just
doing
doing that because I hear the boomer hate has really ramped up from both sides. I mean, left and right. It doesn't matter where you
yeah,
go.
well
They hate
they
boomers.
they effed us over. That's all I can say in almost every way possible. So not that we don't love our parents, it's just
I love my daddy and my mommy.
yeah, it's just it's not all their fault. It's most of their fault.
It's not every boomer's fault. I mean, there is good
They,
boomers.
they just grew an overbearing government.
I mean,
They didn't do very good with the families.
it kind of
And
it does partly come down to good men never want to go into politics. So the good boomers, I mean, they didn't go into politics.
well, we just put the wrong we wanted people they wanted more people to have power over them and they put the wrong people in power. And now we suffer under all of it.
Well, that's
So
a totally different topic. So we'll see you all next time. RaceReposa.com, HigherFalls.com, CreatorCreations.com, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv. See you next time.